guys, if you ever had a swing fault that you've been trying to change that you just can't change in your swing, and you want to change it, well, for me that was lateral side bend. I tried for many years and I couldn't get it, and so I was finally able to do it through deep practice, and so I wanted to see if that worked on other people. So I have a friend, Dom, and he had a really bad flip in his swing. So what we did was we tried using that technique, and I wanted to share with you the results. So once again, we'll go through before and after, why he was able to change it, and finally how we did it. So I hope you enjoy. You can see in the before he would throw his hands, and then he would stall his shoulders, stall his hips, and then he would be in this funky follow through. And in the after, what we got him doing was turning through more and lagging his arms back. And what you can see is he gets into a little better hitting position, and then his finish, his hips continue to turn and his shoulder turns, and his finish looks so much better. Obviously he has so much other stuff to work on, but just the basic movement at impact of not having this weird thing is so much better, and his balls all of a sudden just started going a lot straighter. And he noticed an immediate impact after about 2 sessions. So what I want to do now is try to explain to you why he was able to change with deep practice, and why he couldn't do it before. I have this theory that we're all addicted to hitting balls, and we're addicted to hitting them really well. When you hit the ball and it goes well, it's so satisfying. You got the sound, you got the feeling, it feels like butter, and it's awesome. You got people around you hitting, your friends maybe, and you want to show off, and it just looks good. And so once you get that feeling, you don't want to stop. And my friend Dom was the same way. He would get there and he would do his flip and the balls would go great, and so he couldn't stop doing that. And what I had to convince him to do was to really to be able to hit the balls, but poorly, because he's not going to be as good as what he's been doing all this time, and look at it as more of an investment. And it took him a while to do that, but once I convinced him to do that, then he was able to finally make changes to his swing. So first is I find a remote corner of the driving range, or I go late in the day or early in the morning when I know there won't be a lot of people around. There's several reasons for this. Is one, I have more space, so I can actually set up my camera either down the line or face on view. So that's very important. You got to have space around you. And two, you're not distracted by other people when you mishit the ball. In a deep practice session, I would say you're going to mishit the ball almost all of the time, and it's only maybe the last maybe 10% of the balls that it will start to actually be okay. But you really have to look at a bucket of balls as an investment. Don't think about, I want to hit each ball amazingly, like how you're used to just beating balls at the range. No, what you have to do is say, this bucket of balls, it's an investment, and they're going to be bad, but when I come out of this deep practice session, my swing will be better. Set up your camera, film yourself without a ball, so do your swing just to make sure you can actually get in the proper physical positions. Because maybe physically you can't, maybe you don't have the flexibility or the strength to do it. So film yourself without a ball to convince yourself that you actually can get into the physical positions. Now once you've done that, then you can put the ball down, and this is probably the hardest thing to do, but you have to go very slow. You can look at my other video about going slow, and this is something I had to convince my friend Dom to do, and it took a long time. I say, go hit it slower, and he'd go slow, and then he'd flip like that really fast, because he still had that addiction to just his old muscle patterns. And I literally had to get him to where he was going this slow. And the ball just trickled. And that's where it finally, he was able to break his myelin or his muscle patterns. And that's the change right there. And then it slowly started to click. And you could see where he was saying, okay, you could see his body had somehow incorporated the new move, ingrained it, and just said, oh, okay, I'm getting it. And that's all of a sudden when he could, his ball contact started getting better. And then he could slowly start ramping it up again, and all of a sudden his balls were going much straighter. And he said the swing is a completely different swing than what he imagined it before. And so that's where you can completely change your swing just by going through a deep practice session, instead of what we tried before, which was, just try and hold off more, just, don't flip your hands, and trying all of these drills at full speed. It just didn't work. And so I had to force him slow down, use a bucket of balls as an investment, and convince him that by the end of hitting these bucket of balls, you will radically change your swing. And that's what happened. So one thing I think you need to do is to embrace failure. What I mean by that is, when you're trying to change your swing, is if you're hitting the ball immediately well and you're striping it with a new move, I've found usually what happens is, okay, it lasts for a little while and then it's gone, and then you're on to the next thing. Whereas if you're hitting the ball poorly, it actually means that you're changing your swing, and you're actually doing, you're reprogramming your body, and that's a good thing. And what happens is the contact slowly comes back after a couple of sessions, or even after the end of your first deep practice session. So you have to trust that the contact will come back, and don't worry about hitting bad balls. Think of it as an investment. Now, what I found when doing major changes to my swing is, and this happened to my friend Dom too, is you go through about one initial uncomfort and difficulty, and you have to go very slow. Then you hit the balls, start hitting it good, and then you're like going, all right, I'm feeling this new move, and you go through a nirvana session, and I've had a couple of those, and that's just awesome. And that usually lasts maybe a session to 2.5 sessions. And then I start losing it, and you kind of go, uh-oh, what happened? I thought I had it. and you become confused. You go through this valley of confusion.
In good position here at the 15th off the tee, but how about this second? Yet.
And so what you have to do is then sometimes go back and relearn what you just learned again. I've done that with lateral side bend. I've had to relearn several things 2 or 3 times. Each time it gets easier and you remember it. And now I don't have to think too much about it, and I can move on to other things in my swing. But don't panic when you get into that valley of confusion.
Trap draw, 3 metal.
It's a good thing. It means you're actually changing your body, and you're changing the way you think about the swing. So I hope this video helped you. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them. Thank you.